and welcome back to another episode of Empower You Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Abney, and I'm just here to shine a little light on living life a little bit more consciously every day. How I do that on the podcast is I talk to amazing people all around the world, talking about what their expression of the new earth is and what they're doing to bring more light into the world. And today's no exception. I'm really excited to introduce my guest, Erin Slutsky from Bristol, Wisconsin. Yes, right? Yay.
Yeah. Yep. And no one's going to know where that is. So
somewhere north.
Well, I am right in between Chicago and Milwaukee.
Okay, got it.
So I'm right on Lake Michigan and in a little town in the county. But I still consider myself from Chicago because that's kind of where I was born and raised, in that area.
Okay, I get it. I love Chicago, except for the winter time.
Sure.
Yeah, no. But it's a beautiful, great, amazing city.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited. You're going to share a little bit about anagrams. I've never heard Enneagrams. So share a little bit about you, your story, how this kind of came up, and what this is, and how we can use this in our lives. So I know just about the word. I've seen it on some social posts, but I have no idea. So I'm a total student today. So
all right, great.
Share
I
with
hope
us.
to enlighten you.
Yes, me too.
So imagine having a tool that helps you understand yourself.
Okay.
And helps you figure out what makes you tick and what trips you up. Imagine having a tool that helps you communicate that and gives you language to do that, so you can have better relationships and resolve conflict quicker and make decisions easier. Imagine having a tool that helps you understand other people better. That's the Enneagram.
Okay.
It's that self-awareness tool that brings light to your life and others, so you can have better relationships, communicate better, and connect better. Because, I'm sure you know, Michael, you have heard the U.S. Surgeon General has claimed loneliness as an epidemic.
I've read that. I've read actually in the last month, multiple statistical type articles about, I think that they had a slant from like how the pandemic affected loneliness, but it was still like this general sense of like a lot of folks are feeling really lonely, and not for me, that could take, because I see the energy behind things. And so it's like, I'm always like questioning like, okay, what's missing here? Would, like make a difference? And, I know that that's the experience, but I also know there's a reality of there's 7 billion of us here or more. And like, how the hell can we ever be lonely with all these people? Right. So it's like such a dichotomy of like how our reality versus our experience. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's our experience that wins the house. So I'm all ears. Like, but I like one thing I wanted to like just get out of the way because it's in my head, and I know other people might be doing this too. And I mean, no disrespect, but like, and I want to know where this is coming from so I can delete it from my past. So when I was growing up, like that word, I don't even know if it's the same word, but it like conjures the devil for me. Like, so what is that? Why am I thinking that when you say that word? Can you help me? No.
I'm trying to figure out how to communicate this. I think you tuned into something really important, because like you said, how many people are on this earth and we're lonely?
Yeah.
Something's up. Something, whether you call it the devil or whatever, wants us to be alone, because then we are vulnerable, right? We don't have support.
I have chills. I've just been reading this book. I've been reading this book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, which was a recommendation from another podcast guest, Samantha Cahooch. And that, like, I can't put that damn thing down. I've got it on audiobook, and it's the same thing about the energy of like wanting us to stay isolated,
Mm-hmm.
depressed. Like, so we're not thinking for ourselves.
Yep.
Like, that's the hook, you know, like if you're not
Yep.
thinking for yourself, you're going to be swayed by everything.
Yep.
So we are hitting on something. So this
Yep.
is really powerful. I love when this stuff happens. So it is in this realm,
Yeah.
but that did bring that up in my energy field,
That's interesting.
even though I know it's complete, you know, bullshit, but like it's my, you know, what I've got
Is it
attached
though?
to it, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's still there, or it
Yep.
wouldn't have come up whenever. And I had
Mm-hmm.
the courage to say that out loud because I didn't want to
Yeah.
offend you, but like,
No.
what
No.
is that? Why are we, why is that there?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to go back to the self-awareness that we need to be in tune with, because like you were just, practicing self-awareness because you're paying attention to what your body was telling you, what your
Mm-hmm.
spirit was telling me, and you went for it. And so you must be at a level of self-awareness where you trust yourself and you are like going to pay attention to your intuition. And that is another thing that the Enneagram helps you do. Since it helps you get to know yourself, you can start noticing things, noticing patterns, the good and the not so good, right? And so when we're talking about loneliness, I like to point out where we are self-sabotaging. And each person has their own way of protecting themselves and um, putting barriers between themselves and other people so they are disconnected. And we do this basically to protect ourselves from being hurt. The Enneagram, let me go back just a little bit with the Enneagram. Ennea means 9.
Okay.
Gram, think of points on a diagram. So there's 9 different Enneagram types. So I teach my clients about their type and how to look for these signs of loneliness and other things. But each type has a different um, eh, thing that trips them up. For example, I'm an Enneagram type 3. I avoid failure like the plague. I see it coming and I take a detour, right? Or if I do fail, I am in this shame spiral. So when it comes to loneliness, I disconnect myself from other people when I'm feeling that shame or that sense of failure.
Okay.
If I'm not connected with myself enough and know myself enough to know, okay, failure is not bad. We need to learn from failure. You don't need to be afraid of it. It's not going to destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
And speak truth to myself, then I'm not going to be as disconnected from myself, therefore not as disconnected from other people and fighting loneliness.
I find that so interesting, especially about the 9s. I'm a huge, like everything in my life is
Right.
369
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay.
But like, how does one find out what one, Enneagram?
Enneagram. Enneagram.
Enneagram.
Ennea.
Okay.
Ennea.
Okay. Enneagram.
Um, right.
How does one find out what one is?
There's many different ways. You could go online and Google Enneagram test. There's some that are free and there are some that cost $200.
Okay.
None of them are 100% accurate. I've been trained by the one that charges $200, and they even say we're only about 96, 98% accurate because an online test can't take into consideration your body language and your mood and your emotional expression like that. So with my free Enneagram test on my website, I offer a free consultation to confirm your type. So much happens in an interview. So much happens where I can look at you, I can see your body language, I can ask you specific questions, and I know which way, um, depending on your answer, to ask the next question. And so I find that interview is the best way. If for some reason you don't want to talk to me, which is fine, go find books, go online and read about all the types and narrow it down to the one that you think sounds most like you. There's also tons of podcasts on the Enneagram as well.
Okay. So like, when did it find you?
When did it find me? I love that question. I love how you put that, because that's how it was. I was entering that season of life where my kids started leaving the nest.
Okay.
And I had been a stay-at-home mom raising them. I wasn't staying at home. Obviously, I was very busy. But they didn't need me as much. And I started questioning, I'm like, wait, who am I? If I'm not like your mom, which I'm always going to be their mom, but that was such a huge part of my identity.
See.
I'm like, wait, who am I? And what do I want to do now? And so the Enneagram found me. And as I discovered my type, I realized I've always been that achiever, that one who has lots of ambition and wants to win and be the best. And sometimes that would bring up, feelings of shame, because I don't know, does it sound conceited that I want to be the best? Really, that's just who I am. And that's how I've learned to become where I am right now. So it was one of those things where I did take a test and I read the description and I was like, wait a minute, where is that hidden camera? Because how does it know what's going on in here? How did it know how I feel about things? I felt so known and understood that I'm like, sold. I just had to continue my education and become an accredited Enneagram practitioner.
It's one of the most powerful things I've ever encountered, is that what you just said is like that space where you're inquiring,
Inquiry.
and that thing comes and talks directly to you.
Yeah.
I've had that happen like several times when it's always been in spaces of like, come on, universe, like, seriously, come on, like and then it's like it speaks directly to you via other people and ever how it shows up, but like there's something so connective to that provides confidence. You keep going a little bit further, you keep expanding a little bit further. So if that did that for you, are you having that experience when people are showing up for you? Are you having
Absolutely.
Tell me about that. Like, what is that like for you?
So they feel validated. They feel understood. They do have that sense of freedom, like, oh, I can be who I am. And I don't have to make excuses or apologize. I can accept who I am and show up authentically. I don't have to be someone that I'm expected to be, someone that the world has told me to be. I can be who I am truly and love and accept myself. And in turn, when you do that, you attract it, right?
Instantly.
You meet people who are wanting to be around you more. You are finding groups of people that you're interested in and that they find interest in you. So again, going back to the loneliness thing, when you have that sense of self-compassion, self-love, self-acceptance, people sense that and they're attracted to it.
How are you using this? Like, so I coach people as well. So like that identity thing, that's been such a huge theme the past like year, that I've noticed that people are really aware that who they thought they were no longer exists.
Yeah.
It's like this feeling of like something peeled away from them, or, energetically, I sort of get that. I mean, I know from my own experience of like, okay, all these things that I've done in my life, I've made it all up. Like none of it was real. Like none of it was real. Like nothing's real, really. It's like what we put our focus on. So once you get out of that survival world, that trap that the planet's exiting from, like when people start to popcorn out of that, that's usually one of the telltale signs, is they sense that identity loss and how everything was wired to that identity. I even like outlined it as, like there's an entity in you, that a version of yourself that is completely hardwired to survive, like 100%. And it did an amazing job. The only problem is
Right.
we can't live our life like that anymore because it has a side effect. We keep creating
Right.
shit we have to survive. And I'm like, it
Yeah.
gets exhausting. Like we all
Yeah.
had to survive a pandemic.
And for some people, it was horrific. And other people, it was actually a blessing.
It
They
was a
needed that
blessing.
break.
Yeah.
They needed that pause button to reevaluate their life, reevaluate who they are. They needed to slow down and take a minute. And now
And
going back into it, yeah.
yes,
Do
there's
do
the
I want?
like you can be identified with the stuckness of like that
Right.
space of like, oh, this feels so good just to like
Yeah.
disconnect. There's no mooring to, for me, it's being physical while I'm
Mm.
still aware that I am spiritual. And the
Mm.
blessing is like when I'm non-physical, I can't manifest anything. I'm physical.
Mm.
Here is the opportunity to
Yeah.
actually do that,
Yeah.
actually expand what's known in the world of like energy, and we're leaving survival, and we like
Mm.
how life, the things that are on the outside that have been, doing whatever they've been doing, to keep that status quo thingy going, that not too many sheep
Yes.
wake up. But like, it's like you can't stop it now, like cat's out of the bag.
Right.
Like you
Yeah.
can't unding the bell that's been
Mm. Yeah.
dinged
I love that.
on the planet, right? But
I've,
how do we integrate that? And
I
like,
know,
we got to talk about
I know. I found so many of my clients are like, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to normal.
it. Yeah, what was
And,
that?
what it was familiar, their habits, their schedules, their relationships. They want a second chance. They want to start things new and fresh. But what I'm noticing right now is the world is pulling them back to it. And it's a fight.
Yeah, it's
So,
because we don't have the damn tools, like that we were not educated on how to actually, well, being awake is a lifestyle. Being
mm,
conscious is a lifestyle. You got to be lifestyling with other folks. Otherwise, you are going to
right.
feel that isolation because that's
Yes.
what's happening, is you're not interacting with that world
Yeah.
that's coming online as we speak. It's like being the first person to the new app of the day, right? It's like, okay, well,
Right.
nobody's here to play with. This
Right.
sucks. When it could have been the coolest app in the entire world,
Right.
but you didn't hang out there long enough,
Right.
because you get scared. The second that you get scared, you're sucked back into the other reality,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
we are generating our own reality in real
Mm.
time.
Yeah.
It's so exact, we can't see it.
Right. And if we can identify and recognize what that fear is, using the Enneagram, each type has their own core fear, and
Isn't that
recognizing.
crazy?
And it's
Okay, so
like,
what's your core
here it
fear?
comes.
What's your core
My
fear?
core fear is failure,
Okay.
or not looking successful.
Do you know the core? I mean, would it be a stretch to go through the nines, and what are their core
Yeah.
fears? So like, okay, let's
So
do.
the type 1, their core fear, not good enough.
Oh, got it.
Type 2, rejection, because they desire connection and relationship and love. So it's the opposite of
Okay.
type 3 is failure. Type 4 is interesting. They fear being ordinary
Okay.
because
Go.
they are so creative and unique. Type 5, they fear being irrelevant or not smart enough.
Okay.
Type 6, they fear itself. Type 7s fear being bored, mundane. Type 8, they fear vulnerability, being vulnerable. And type 9s fear conflict.
Oh, at one time in my life, I've had all of those things. The thing that resonated me with this was the 7. What was the
Yeah.
7?
They
Bored?
fear being bored or
Oh,
being limited.
that I don't know how, but I'm resonating with that one.
Okay. Yeah.
It's it's the thing that if I'm not paying 100% attention,
Yeah.
boredom is the thing that scoots me to the dark side. If I'm not like connected to like using my schedule to do a thing, because my automatic is just to be in the world, like be the freedom. Did you say that was wired to freedom a little bit too?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so that is
Sevens want to
telling me
be
is
free.
7.
Yeah.
Want to be free, but we don't want to be bored.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you're bored, then you're not free.
Yeah.
You can't just go do what you want because there's nothing to do. Nothing's exciting enough.
Which is so weird because real manifestation requires no effort. So I would always blur that line. I would notice myself blurring that line about making it happen or allowing it happen, making it happen or allowing it happen.
Yeah.
It was like this huge sort of dance, and almost like it became like a secret because people would ask me how I would manifest things, and I would tell them, but the reality is I didn't quite trust it back in the day. So I would overcompensate in some way, which would always, it just wasn't in the pocket. It wasn't in the pocket. It was still happening. People perceived that I had results, but like in here, it wasn't, because I knew there was something about it. It's like when you manifest something, or when I manifest something, I want to know it in it beyond doubt when it shows up. So what that forced me to do was transform everything that I was consciously intending to manifest. I would say, okay, this is the feeling that I'm generating, this feeling that I want. I go to the end, but it's like, I want this to show up in such a way that I know this beyond doubt. And then that's how it always be like, oh, like that. And that's how I knew that it was the thing.
Right.
And
but
now
is it always like that?
If I create it that way, it is.
Yeah.
If I don't create it that way, no. It looks like a chance thing, or I've been doing it for a minute, so I'm pretty aware of it all the time. But like, I also am working with people that are not necessarily at that space yet. So I also am very conscious of all of those spaces that people are in, even from, when people are in like full fear. Nothing really can manifest when you're in fear, other than more things to be scared of. So
what you focus on.
It's a dance, right? It's a dance.
For sure.
Fascinating conversation. So you use this as your tool. Is there any what is this? What's the number one thing that this has given you that you wouldn't have in your life right now? Like working with this energy and this context with your clients. What has it given you in your life?
I would say two things are coming to my head. The first thing was depth of relationship, which I guess is tied to the second thing, and it's intimacy in my relationships, which produces empathy. So
it does.
I mean, before this, I was black and white, good and bad, right and wrong. This is the way you're supposed to do it, and you better not do it that way, right? Avoid the bad way, wrong way, and only do it this particular way. Now I see the whole spectrum, and right and wrong is not necessarily very clear. I think there's definitely wrong, right? But what I used to believe doesn't exist in what I believe now. And so there's so much more love and acceptance from understanding myself and others.
Are you X generation? Do you consider yourself X generation?
Yeah, I would say I'm Gen X, a millennial wannabe.
Me too. But I'm so X.
Yeah.
We come with a very like passing the baton energy, right? So like
I'm trying to give my baton away and no one will take it. I'm like, can I be done?
No, but this like sense. Did you have this sense? Like, is it? I think it's in our DNA. I was always aware that there was bullshitty things going on around me.
Sure.
What I would look at, it was just had an offness to it. I avoided all of it. I didn't interact with any of it. But at the same time, now I'm finding that a lot of that stuff that I used to think was a stop or negative, now I see is not that it was like really designed for this time in life, because we are at this space, our age now, it's like we are the ones sitting on that pinnacle. Like the people before us are popping off like flies, and they're a group behind us that like those generations know all of this is jacked up. They just don't know what to do about it, like how to craft it in such a way, or it's hitting that collective energy that it's not just about so and so having an awakening and good for you. It's like, no, this is affecting, like the collective is being affected. And like, how do we play with that? How does that like there's just so much in there that I don't even know where to even begin. But like, I know that it's not just us, I know that you and I talking on this, I know there's other people that are in the same way, that we look at like, this is unsustainable. It's unsustainable. We can't just keep making more money to create more, like that vicious circles. Those can't be no more. And the universe has a way of like, it whispers, taps us on the shoulders, and whacks us across the head. I'm like, I don't know how many more whacks we can take.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to get talking about that. What I'm seeing right now is our generation. I think we would be happy to move over and let the next one up in front of us, just because I think we're tired and we've been through a lot, and we're just not as what's the word? I just feel like maybe not the millennials and Gen Z. Gen Z's got it going. Go ahead of me. They've got vision, they've got angst, they've got that ambition to just change the stuff that is going on right now, that is probably the generation ahead of us. We're kind of in between, but I'm hopeful for the coming generations to really just flip it, because I don't have the energy to do it. I'm doing what I can by helping people, come back into themselves and do the work themselves. But I think as far as like huge change, I think like my kids' generation they're just gonna powerhouse through. That's my hope for anyway.
I see that as well, but we do have a role. We do.
I think we have a role. I feel like our generation might be like, okay, we have more. If we've been through a lot.
You know what we do? We hold space. We hold space.
Because we've been through a lot that we probably haven't talked about, and we thought it was normal.
Yes, and
because it was normal for us.
But it wasn't normal what we were thinking was.
The younger kids are looking at it now going, that was normal?
It was normal?
You better not do that to me. That better not happen to me. They have a say. I didn't feel like we had a say. We just did what we were told. And
no, sit down.
Yes.
Yeah. I fought it my whole life. Grew up gay in a really small town. That'll do it.
Yep.
And I was like, I knew the religious thing was kind of jacked up too. Like I couldn't fathom why our preacher guy, it was this little town with 10 different preachers, and like why our preacher was saying that the other kids that went to the other places, they were all going to hell because they weren't, like, none of that made sense to me. Like when I was little, and I questioned it, and I was told, don't question.
Don't question.
Don't
question authority.
Already done that, but I can't. That's
what this generation's doing now. They're questioning. They've got that guts to do it.
Yeah.
So,
but like to your point though, like what you were saying, like my sort of aha was I used to have that, for years. I had the save the world sort of thing,
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't, people would, when I would think about doing a business, they were like, you have to niche down. You have to work with a very certain, group of folks. I'm like, no, I want to work with anybody that comes to me. But the only thing, it doesn't work that way.
No.
You have to niche down, because what you're doing is you're unlocking people that have the visions, like what you were saying about the millennials, they got the vision, but they don't know how to execute any of it or manifest any of it. Generally, they just want it to be and not have the experience of, this is how you bring stuff into the world. This is how this works. So that being said, me working with, a person that's going to unlock and write a book or make a movie or whatever their thing is, that's going to affect bazillions of folks. Like, I had to get to a place where I understood that's how I could do that, what I wanted, have the end be real, but do it in a way that wouldn't tear me apart energetically. And I was like super focused in on a very specific thing. And now that I'm at this point where I'm actually doing that thing, it's like, oh, that's why that happened in 2008. That's why that happened in that, like, that's why that voice happened and said that thing in 20, it all makes sense. Why I stayed and had other careers for those times, like, and when I didn't have money, like what that was about. So it was just like, it was releasing all of my fears, whether I wanted to or not. But somehow, like in 2018, 2017, 2018 is when I really took on facing everyone that I could detect, like a bull in a china shop. If I felt a fear, like, we were on it, we had a plan, we were going to do it. We were going to like go through whatever that thing was. Because when I started to find out, none of them were what I thought they were when I faced them. Like, none of them. The grip, the hell, the horror, the suffering came in my resistance to facing that fear.
Yep.
And that was like the helly part. If I could have, like, back then went fear, boom, boom, no fear, I would have done that. But that's not the process that human beings generally go through. They get stuck in it, or they attempt it a couple of times and they bounce right back into what you said earlier about how they feel that pull to go back into the, let's fit in with all the scared folks that are on the planet right now. And I just don't want to be in that herd.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do a podcast where I talk about other aspects of things. And like, it just provides so much. I don't care if anybody ever listens to it. It's like, I got to, like, I am in action with creating a conversation that's outside of what most people would consider normal.
Right.
As a way to, like, sort of stake it. I know other people are doing it, but other people don't have my perspective, and I don't have their perspective, and they're not me.
Yeah.
That said, the world needs all 7 billion of us to be our expressions of what it takes all of us. But that transformation, that's when that happens for me in a blink of an eye. Like, that's what that meaning carries with me. And whenever that spreads, like when somebody does a viral post, they don't know when they're posting it that it's going to go viral. Like the ones that really do, there's just something in it. And within a couple of days, everybody in the whole planet knows it, or something happens here and somebody knows about it. Like, we're in that time where that's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great conversation.
Yeah, this is great.
What are you excited about next? Like, what is, like, in your own life, maybe not even with your business, but just for your own, like, next level, your own evolution? What are you excited about? What is getting you excited in the morning now?
Yeah. Well, so I did start my business when I was almost 50. And so just the thought of, I feel like it's my turn now, right? And my mom's generation, she was winding down, getting ready to retire and hanging it up. And it's like, no, I'm just getting going. So every morning to me, I look forward to talking with my clients, doing podcast interviews. I'm working on my keynote talk right now, and it's about loneliness. But I'm polishing that up so I can bring that to the world. But in my personal life, my husband and I we're celebrating our 31st wedding anniversary next month. I
Amazing.
mean,
I
that's
love
just like not even heard of anymore. And technically, we shouldn't be married for the stuff that we've been through. I mean, but we're going to be celebrating in Jordan and Egypt this year. So I'm really excited to get out of this country. I haven't been out of this country other than like Mexico. But I'm excited about that because it's going to make me realize how ancient things really are. And yet I have a feeling I'm going to realize how not ancient they are. Does that make any sense? Like the oldest thing I've seen is probably from the 1700s, maybe 1600s, right? We're talking old as old
Where are
can
you
be.
going, by the way? Where are you going?
We're going to Jordan. So I'll be floating in that Dead Sea and going down the Nile River. And then we'll be going to Cairo and Luxor and seeing the pyramids and taking a camel in the desert and spending the night there. And so just experiencing something that I never thought I would, but I get to.
Can I share something with you?
Yeah.
So when we first started talking, my guide said that you do the Enneagrams because you were a scribe in Egypt in a past life. So like
Because I was a scribe.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
That's why you resonate with this. That's why you
That's
resonate with what you're doing.
interesting.
So, and here you say that that's literally where you're going. So yes, there's a reason that that's happening, and I can't wait to. You're going to
We'll
share
have
with
to
me
talk
like
again
what?
after that.
Yes, because there's very specifically.
Hmm.
You're going to have 3 awakenings in this trip that like literally resets the course of your life, the rest of your life on
I could use it.
this planet. It's time. Yeah, seriously, it is about that loop all the way back to now. Like, and because there's no such thing as time. Time's an illusion. So like, it's not far back. It's now. You're not going to experience that thousands of years ago. It's now. And that's also, thank you. That's one of the things that you're going to experience is how, like, it's out of time. You'll experience out of time. Yeah. Like, I'm going to ask and see if they'll tell me. Out of time, you'll definitely connect with like whatever the new thing is for that you're going into for your future. It's definitely a book of whatever it is your experience of this is. The first thing they're like, I can't see that. So that's going to be that could be your thing. That's your click on this trip. That's like your aha. And you're like that. So you know that to pay attention to the rest of these things on your trip. Right. First one's like an older lady. That's the only thing I can see. Okay. About that. Okay. I'll shut up about that. But I'm excited for you because that's it's the mystery. That's not a mystery. It's like, this is how this is that connectiveness to our intuition that where loneliness can't really reside. Right. Because it's at the end of the day, it's really just a story. So, I can't wait to hear how this story turns out. I'm gonna be seeing how this turns out. Yeah, for sure. So when are you going?
September 1st.
Okay.
We'll be gone for like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll make a little note where we reconnect.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So yes. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your experience,
for having me.
What you do, and Enneagrams, get to learn about that, our fears, and all that stuff. I hope you guys got like a ton of value out of today. I know I did. I'm kind of excited about. I'm going to look into this a little bit more and find out that stuff really is my number. If you guys have any questions, I'll put Erin's information down in the description box below that you can reach out to her and do that free test on your website, and connect and find out where you're at and how that can help you live a more empowered life. So thank you so much for listening, and we will see you on the next podcast.